Good morning, children. Hope you're all safe at home. I'm your English teacher Nirmala. So, open your first semester textbook of your class, and the page number is 11. That is the second lesson, The King's Decision. So, this is a very interesting story, and you can enjoy this story by listening. First of all, we go on reading this para by para and follow me, and also you read along with me so that it will be easier for the pronunciation of the words and also understanding. Okay, children, let's start the lesson. The King's Decision. When we think of a king, a picture of a dictator who is a cruel fellow comes in our mind. All are kings. Are all kings cruel? Read and find out. So here we are going to read about a king, whether he is a cruel one or not. As soon as we see this picture, we think about the animals, some story about those in which has been in the forest. Okay. Now, once upon a time, a lion lived in a forest. He was a big and strong lion. He crowned himself the king of the forest. All the animals brought him gifts. He felt very happy but also very greedy. The more he got, the more he wanted. So there was a king, that is Lion King. He made himself as the king of the forest, and he was very big and also strong one. And what did he do? All the animals were used to bring the gifts to him, and he felt very happy by seeing those gifts. And also, slowly, he wanted more and more gifts, and more he wanted, more they gave, and also he got many gifts from all the animals, and also many people were surrounded by him. So a king must have courtiers, he thought. He wondered which of the animals would make the best courtiers. Courtiers means his fellow men. Karyadashigalu means his own group of people. Those are called as courtiers. So he thought like that, I should have some courtiers so that they can follow my orders. So he thought which animals must be the my courtiers. Then he called a fox and said to him, people say you are wise and clever. I want you to be my advisor. So, as you all know, fox is a very clever animal, isn't it? In the same way, he thought that it is a very wise animal and it can be his advisor. Then what did the fox say for that? Thank you, your majesty, said the fox, bowing low. By bending himself, he said, okay, your majesty, I'll be your advisor. Then he called a leopard and said to him, you all always alert and fast. You will be my bodyguard. The leopard agreed readily. So next first what did he call? He called a fox as an advisor. And he called a leopard which is very fast in running, and also always it will be very alert. So he called a leopard and asked, okay, you be my bodyguard. Bodyguard means always who will be back of the king. So he used to save his life. So that person is called a bodyguard. So he called leopard and made him as a bodyguard. Next again he then called a crow and made him his messenger, since he could go to places fast. So he called a crow and made him a messenger. Messenger means whatever the news he needed, wherever he wanted to go, he'll go very fast and grab the news and give to the king. So these three have become the very loyal courtiers to the king. Who are those? The fox, the leopard, and the crow promised that they would be loyal to the king and serve him well. The lion promised to protect them and provide them with food. So these are the works done by these animals. Fox as an advisor, leopard as a very alert and very fast animal. He became the bodyguard, and the crow which has become the messenger. Okay, so these are the three animals which have become the courtiers of the king, and they used to be very prompt to the king. And what is the king said? I will provide you with the food, so you should be my courtiers and I will provide good food for you. Then the lion was happy with his new courtiers. They always obeyed him and did whatever he told them to do. They followed him wherever he went. They found animals for him to hunt. When he finished eating, he left the remains for them, so they always had enough food to eat. As you all know, when lion kills an animal, he can't eat the full animal, isn't it? How much it will eat, and next day, freshly again it will hunt for the another animal. It will not eat the stale food. So in the same way, when the lion hunts for an animal, these courtiers will help them to follow that animal and hunt. After that, the lion used to first eat that animal. When he finished the eating, then the leftovers was given to these three courtiers. Then these three used to eat that animal, and they had very enough amount of food to eat. Okay, turn the next page. So this is the next page. Now, what it is, one day the crow came and asked the king if he had ever tasted camel meat. The lion replied that he had never seen a camel. He asked the crow where they could get the camel. The crow thought the crow thought for a while and said, there is a desert some distance away. Flew over it some days ago and saw a camel there. He looked big and fat. So what did this crow, one day the crow said? He said, did you eat the camel meat, my lord? Then what does the king say? No, I did not had. Then there is a desert nearby and I saw a camel there which is a very big and fat animal. Then the lion asked his other courtiers for their advice. The fox and the leopard know nothing about deserts or camels, but they did not want the king think that they will uh, less wise than the crow. So they said it was a good idea. So what did the courtier said? They don't know about deserts or camels, but they don't want to be fooled before the crow. They said, ha ha, we know. It's a good idea. Let's go. Here only near our forest only we saw one desert. Then like that they misleaded the king. The next morning, the four animals set off for the desert. After leaving the uh, shady forest behind them and traveling for some time, they reached the desert. They felt hot and uncomfortable. So the next morning only all these here in the picture, these all three animals left for the desert, leaving the forest behind. And when they reached the desert, they were very tired. And what is the desert? How will be the desert? It is very hot, isn't it? The same way that it was very hot and uncomfortable. And after a while, the lion could not bear the heat any longer. He found it difficult to walk as the hot sand was scorching his paws. He was tired and thirsty too. Stop! He shouted. I don't want camel meat. Let us go back to the forest. Now he was very much tired by walking so many miles, and he traveled so long a distance. Never he went to other place without leaving forest. So like that he felt very hot at that place, and his paws also was like feeling very hot, and scorching means there were scratches in that, and it was too hot that he can't put one more paw on the desert land. Now the forest was far behind them. The courtiers did not know how to take the exhausted lion back home. The leopard wanted to run away, the crow wanted to wait and watch, but the clever fox had a plan. Now they were very much worried. No, now we brought the king to the desert. Now we don't know whether he'll get the camel meat or not. But now he has to run away from here. So what did they do? The fox had a plan. Then he said, "Wait here, I will bring help." He ran off into the desert and soon found the camel. So he said, "Okay, okay, I'll make you one arrangement. Please stop here. You stay here only. I'll bring some help from others." "Please come, my friend," he said the camel. "Our king wants to meet you." Now he go so nicely to the camel and ask him, "Please, my friend, come on. Our king is waiting to meet you." Then he said, "Your king?" said the camel, surprised. "I don't know any king. I only know my master and I carry his loads across the desert." So he said, "Your king? I don't know any king of yours. Only I know the person, and that is his master." And what does he do in the desert? He carry the loads in the desert. He says, "I don't know any king or anyone. I know only my master who will make me to carry the loads across this desert." Okay, children. In the next video, I'm going to continue the class.